Okay, guys, this is gonna be the study guide. So I'm gonna go over really fast because I don't think this is too difficult for you at this point. Okay, so we need to do 6 minus 2 minus k, which is 2 plus 2, and k is 2 minus 2 plus 3, and then this is gonna be plus 3, right? Okay, so this is gonna be 6 minus 4. I can put that like that, right? 6 minus 4 minus 2 plus 2. This cancels out, so this is going to be plus 3. So this cancels out, right? And then we have these times, right? So this actually this is going to be 2 minus 2. That's going to be 0, right? So 6 minus 6 is 0, and 2 times 3 is 6, right? Okay, that's easy. Just follow the PEMDAS, okay? Here you need to simplify, right? So you have to do distributive property here twice, right? So this is going to be 9 times 2, that's going to be 18. 9 times this number, so that's going to be negative 81x, and this is going to be negative 18x plus 27x squared. So you combine like terms, so you combine these two, so that's going to be negative 99x. You have the 18 here, and you have to leave this alone because this is power 2, this is power 1, and this is constant, right? So this is the answer. Okay. Here, solve the equation. So you just need to there's many ways to do this problem, right? You can say this is 14x and this is equal to 0. Divide by 14, and then x equals 0, right? And that's the answer. Here, you just need to distribute, right? This times this times that. So this is 5n minus 30 minus 8 on the left side, and then on the right side you have to do distributive property, right? So this is going to be 5n minus 40 plus 32 plus 2, I'm sorry, plus 2. And then here you have to combine like terms, so this is going to be 5n minus 38, and this is 5n minus 38. So everything cancels, right? This cancels with that, this cancels with that, so you got 0 equals 0, so this is a true statement. But if you think about it at this step, you can just stop, right? Because if you see the left side equal to the right side, that means that any number you pick for n, it's always going to be true on the left and the right side. So n is all real numbers, right? So that's the reason they put all real numbers, because they're exactly the same. Whatever you put on the left side, you're going to get the same on the right side. This one, you have, you can, first of all, you need to put it in that form, right? A x equals b, let's say, right? Because this is a very simple problem. So you need to add 3 in both sides, right? So this is going to be negative 9 absolute value of x equals negative 27. If you divide by negative 9 both sides, you get absolute value of x equals 3. Okay. Let me put that here. I divide by 9, just in case you don't know what I did. I divide by 9, and you get absolute value of x equals 3. Now you need to set this equal to positive and negative 3, right? So x equals 3, x equals negative 3, and in this case, this is the answer, right? Once you are in this step, right, you need to set up b, one positive b, one negative b. So here I have to set up x equals 3, x equals negative 3, and that will be the answer. Okay. I can do the same here, right? There's many ways to do it. You can say, well, absolute value of x over 7 is the same, equals 4 is the same as absolute value of x, absolute value of 7 equals 4. So you know the absolute value of 7 is just 7, and this is 4. You can cross multiply, so that's going to be absolute value of x equals 28. So you do the same thing as you did here, right? you can set one positive and one negative. Okay, that's the answer for this part. That's how you do it. Next, this one is the same as the number 5, right? So you have to do the same. You need to make it into this form, or kind of similar to that form. So this is going to be plus 3, right? So this cancels out. You get negative 10. Absolute value of b over 4 equals negative 10. If you divide both sides by negative 10, you get b over 4 equals to 1, right? If you divide by negative 10 both sides, you get 1, right? This cancels out, and you get negative 10 over negative 10, which is 1. Now you can do the same as we did in number 6. So this is the absolute value of b. This is the same as absolute value of 4 equals to 1. Absolute value of b, I'm going to leave it like that until the end. Absolute value of 4, just 4. Then you cross multiply, right? So it's going to be absolute value of b equals 4. Now you set it one positive and one negative, right? So b equals 4, b equals negative 4. This is the answer. I'm just doing this fast because I know it's a little late, so I want to finish it as fast as I can. That's the answer for 7, right? Now 8. Again, the same thing, exactly the same thing, right? I need to divide by negative 5 first. Negative 5 both sides. So this is going to be 1, right? So you have absolute value of a minus 6 equals 8. Now you have it in that form. So you need to set up a minus 6 equals 8. A minus 6 equals negative 8. And now you just need to combine like terms. So this is negative a in both sides. Cancel. Negative 6x equals 0. Divide by negative 6, you get 0, right? And then here I need to subtract negative a in both sides. Negative 6 equals negative 16. And now you divide by negative 6 both sides. And you're going to get x equals, well, if you simplify this, you get 8/3, right? Because negative divided by negative is a positive. 16 over 6 is just 8/3. And that's what they have here, right? I hope you know how to simplify the fraction. If you don't know how to do that, you can do this, right? Well, 16 is the same as 8 times 2. And 3 is the same as 3 times 2. So this simplifies, you get 8/3. So that's how you do that one, right? We're not doing this, I told you in class, so we skip that. Here they want you to write the slope-intercept form of the equation of each line, right? So this is basically, you need to write y equals mx plus b. So the slope here is negative 5 over 4. So you just need to plug it in, right? And the y-intercept, they're telling you that is 0. So you know the y-intercept is just b, right? The y-intercept is b. Therefore, you can say that this is what? Negative 5 over 4 x. And since there's no y-intercept or b equals to 0, then that's the answer, right? You just need to plug the slope in the equation and then you're done. Okay? This one, write the slope-intercept form of the equation of each line. So basically, you need to rearrange this equation into y equals mx plus b, right? You need to rearrange it into y equals mx plus b. So this is very easy. The only thing you need to do is subtract negative 9x in both sides, right? So this cancels out. You get ay equals negative 9x minus 64. Now you divide by 8. So y equals negative 9 over ax, and this is going to be negative 8. Okay, and that's what they're supposed to have, which indeed they have, right? You see? Okay. Now this one, they want you to, is the same, but they give you the graph. Now you have to do the rise over run, right? This is the slope, right? So the y-intercept is here. So you can say, well, right now so far, I have negative 2. Remember, I need to write it in this form, right? So I have the y-intercept already. I need to find the slope and I'm done. So the slope is rise over run, right? So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 to the left and 1 down, right? So 3 to the left and 1 down. 3 to the left is negative, 1 down is negative, and negative is a positive, right? That's how you're supposed to see this. So again, I'm going to repeat that one more time. You can do, it doesn't matter which way you go, or you can do to the left or you can go down. If you want to follow this specific setup, then you do it's not exactly rise. Now we're decreasing, right? So it's gonna be, your run is gonna be negative this time. So you're gonna go down 1, and then you're gonna go 1, 2, 3 to the left, right? So you went down 1 and you went 3 to the left. So that's gonna be negative 3x. So this is basically 1/3 x minus 2, okay? Right, because if we're doing rise, in this case, there's no rise, there's like, you have to go down and then you have to go to the left, right? But that's the same concept, right? If you want to think different way, you can just pick another point. If you want to do exactly rise over run, you can just do like this. You can pick this point, and I went up 1, right? And I went 3 to the right, 3 to the right, 1, 2, 3, right? So that's how you're supposed to see that. So you pick this point again, and you went up 1, which is a rise of 1, which is this one here, and then you went 3 to the right, 1, 2, 3. So that's this number, right? Okay, next. You need to write it in slope-intercept form, so that means that you need to subtract negative 4 in both sides. This cancels out, so you got y equals negative 4x, because I have to distribute this first. So negative 1 over 4x, negative 1/4 times negative 3, that's going to be positive 3/4. And remember, you subtract negative 4, right, in both sides. Therefore, this is going to be negative 1/4x plus 3/4, and this is going to be 16 over 4, right, as a fraction. So that means this is going to be negative 1/4x minus 13 over 4, since you have the same denominator, and that's what they have as an answer, right? Remember, this is y. Okay, that's how you do that. Next one, slope. This is x1, y1, and they give you the slope, right? So this is m. So you can say y equals mx plus b, because they want slope-intercept form. They're telling you very clearly here, right? And the only thing you need to do is just plug the values, right? So you can do, what is it, 2, the y value is 2, then the slope is negative 1/5, the x value is 5, and b, right? I need to find b. So this cancel out, you get negative 1 plus b equals 2, add 1 in both sides, and you get 3 equals b. So now that you have the b, then you have the slope also. You can say that, well, m is negative 1/5 x, and then b is going to be the value of b that you just found, right? That's going to be 3. Okay. Next, they want you to find the slope, right? So this is x1, y1. This is going to be x2, y2. You know the slope is y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. So what's the y2 here? y2 is negative 2, minus y1 is 5, x2 is negative 5, minus x1 is 0. So this is going to be negative 7 over negative 5. This is going to be 7/5. Now you need to write it in the, you need to write the slope-intercept form, right? Which is this part right here, right? Y equals mx plus b. You have it on the top, right? So, but anyway, I'm gonna write it here. And then now that you have the slope, which is this guy right here, you can do point slope form. Just, you know, I can use this method again, but just to show you different ways, I'm gonna use the slope intercept form or point slope form. So this is y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. This is called point slope form, right? And just plug the values, right? So when you're doing point slope form, you just need 1 point. So let's use this, okay? So y minus y1, which is 5, is the slope, which is 7/5. X minus x1 is 0 in this case, right? So this is going to be y minus 5 on the left side equals 7/5 x, because I'm doing distributive property here, and 7/5 times 0 is just 0, so I need to add 5 in both sides, and I get the answer for this problem, right? So this is going to be y5 7 over 5x plus 5. Okay, that's the answer for this problem, and you have the answer here. I'm just doing it like that at the same time, so you can see how they did it, or exactly what they want. Okay, so here In 17, they say, write the slope intercept form. So same thing, they keep asking you for y equals mx plus b. So here, they telling you that the slope is parallel to the line x equals 0, right? So if you graph x equals 0, that will be here. And then you have x equals, this is the point, right? Negative 2, 4. So negative 2, let's assume that is around here, and 4 is around here somewhere. So you have this situation, right? So they're asking you, they said that the line should be parallel to the line x equals 0. So if the slopes are parallel, they have the same slope, right? So at this point, since there's no exactly, like, since the lines are parallel, so they mean they have the same slope. However, here they're telling you that x equals 0 for that point, and they give you this line, right? And you know that the slope of a horizontal line is it's 0, and the slope of a vertical line is undefined, right? Since there's no, they don't give you the slope of the other line because the slope of the other line is undefined. Therefore, you don't have a slope for this line because it's just that x equals -1. I'm sorry, x equals -2 because they're parallel, right? Since there's no slope for both, you just put the x value, right? Because they're parallel in that perspective. So that's just going to be x equals -2. Okay. Now this one, they're saying here that the slope, I mean the slope of this line, let's call this L1 and this is L2. They're saying that the slope of line 1 is perpendicular to the slope of line 2, right? So if they're perpendicular to the slopes, then the slope of line 1 is going to be -2/3. Now you just need to plug it in, right? Y equals mx plus b. So just need to basically plug the values like the other problem, right? So this is x1, y1. Y1 is -4. The slope of m1 is going to be -2/3. X is 3, and then b, I need to find it, right? So this is going to be -4. This is going to be -2 plus b. Add 2 in both sides, right? So this cancels, you get b equals -2. So y equals -2/3 x minus 2. That should be the slope, right? Once you find b, then you can write it in slope intercept form. Next, solve the system of equations. So here you can use elimination, right? So if you multiply, let's call this equation 1 and equation 2. If you multiply equation 1 with -2, so this is going to be -12x plus 12y equals 60, and this is going to be 12x plus 3y. Basically, I'm leaving equation 2 as it is. It's going to be -30, right? So this cancels out. You get 15y equals 30, and then you divide by 15, and you get y equals 2. Okay? Once you have y equals 2, you can plug in equation 1 or 2. It doesn't matter. So let's say, let me move this around because after that you're going to think this is part of that problem. Okay? So once you have y, then you can plug in equation 1, let's say. So the equation 1 is 6x minus 6y equals -30. If you plug the 2 here, you're going to get 6x minus 6 times 2 is going to be -30. Do the math. And then you add 12 in both sides. So 6x equals -18. You divide by 6, and you get x equals -3. So this is the answer, right? And as an order pair, x goes first, so -3, and y goes after 2, right? That's the answer for that problem. Okay, so we're not doing 20, like I said in class. We're not doing 21, we're not doing 22, we're not doing 23, we're not doing 24, we're not doing 25, so we can continue. Okay, so we have only 5 left. So here, I have to see if I have any like terms. So as you can see here, we have 2 over square root of 42, square root of 45, -2, 45. This is basically 2x minus 2x. And you know that this cancels because they're opposite. So this is the same thing. So these 2 cancels. Here you cannot do anything because if you do the prime factorization of 6, you get 2 and 3. So you cannot do anything there. The only way you can, or the only part that you have to actually do something is this part. So 2 root 6, you can leave it like that, and you have to do prime factorization of 20. Well, you start with dividing by 2, right? So this is 10 and 2, and this is 5 and 2, right? So basically this is -2 root 20. So root 20 is the same as 4 times 5. Now you ask yourself this question: what is the square root of 4? 2. So -2 times 2 root 5 plus 2 root 6. So what is -2 times 2? That's going to be -4 root 5 plus 2 root 6. And that's it. That's the end of this problem, right? Make sure that you practice these things. Next, 27. The way you can do here is that, well, you can simplify the 5s, right? And you can think about, if you have square root of 5 over the square root of 20, you can just make this into a 1 square root. So I'm gonna make a big square root, and I'm gonna say this is 5 over 20. 5 over 20 is the same as 1/4, right? So the inside is gonna be 1 over 4. And now you can break it down one more time. So this, you can say that this is a square root of 1, this is a square root of 4. What is the square root of 1? 1. What is the square root of 4? 2. That's it, you're done. That's how you do that. Okay, make sure that you know this little trick, right? Or this rule. Okay, next. Here, this is that rule, right? So this is am to the n equals amn, right? So I need to basically multiply these two exponents, right? So this is gonna be 2 to the 8. Then on the bottom you have what? You have this rule, am times an. This is gonna be am plus n. So this is gonna be 2 to the -5. So this is 2 to the 8 times 2 to the 5, because I want to write negative exponents as positive. So if I put this in the denominator, on the numerator, it turns to be positive. Now you can do what? You can do 2 to the 13. Okay, so that's the answer. Here, number 29. You know that any variable or number to the 0 power is always 1. So that's going to be 1. So I don't need to worry about these things because they're 1, right? So you have J2, K3, H2. Then on the bottom, I need to do that rule that I mentioned before, am over n equals am times n. So you basically need to distribute, let me put that in different color. You need to distribute this -3 here, right? So that's gonna be 2 to the -3, h to the -6, J0, well, 0 times -3 is 0, right? And then K2, right? 2 times 3 is -6. So you can think about the top, everything is positive, so there's no problem. J2, K3, and H2, right? And on the bottom, we have what? We have a number, like here we have 1, like J to the 0, that's gonna be 1, right? So this is gonna be 2 to the -3, H to the -6, and K to the -6, right? So now you want always positive exponents. So everything on the denominator is gonna be positive if you move to the numerator. So you have J2, K3, H2, 2 to the 3, H to the 6, K to the 6, right? So now it's a matter about combining like terms. So you have only one number, so let's take care of that. 2 cubed is the same as 8, because 2 cubed is the same as 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, right? That's 8. So if you continue doing this, you can combine the next letter. So you can say H2 and H6, that's gonna be H2 and H6 is H8. If you do this rule, right? If you use this rule, you get this. Case 3 and case 6 is K9. And this is J2. That's it. Okay, that's how you do that. Next, this thing. right? The last one. So you do the same thing. You have to distribute it, right? Using this rule. So if you do that, you get 2 to the -1, 8 to the 1, right? Because we're doing this and this. -1 and 1 is -1 times -1 is +1. B2 and -1 is going to be B -2. C -4 and -1 is going to be 4. And then here we have 2a to the 4. Well, you can simplify this further, right? So you can say this 2 times this 2 is 4. And then you have a4 and a2, you apply this rule again. This rule you need to apply, right? So a4 and a2 is a6. This is a6, and you have b2 hanging out, and you have c -3 in the denominator. So whatever is negative, you put it on the top, and if there's something on the numerator that is negative, you put it on the denominator, basically. So here we have, well, I have the 2 to the 1, I'm gonna put it on the bottom as 2 to the first. Then you have 4 here. Then you have, well, we have two positives here, right? So in this case, I'm gonna put the a to the 1 on the denominator because I have to combine the a's together. So that's gonna be a6 times a to the -1. And then you have to combine the b -2 with the b2. So the negative goes down. So that's gonna be b2 times b2. And basically the only thing I did here is I bring this b2 to the denominator, right? And we have one b2 in the beginning, right? So you can just think about this is the yellow one, and this is the green one that I bring to the denominator. So you have C4, and you have, when you can put the C -3, you can put it on the numerator. So this is C3. So this is C7 equals 8, 8A6. Now you put the A1, this A1, you're gonna put it on the top, this one right here. So that's gonna be just, well, not really. You can combine these two first, right? So you can say that's 6 using this rule in green, right? You can say that A6 and A1 is A5, right? So that's gonna be A5, right? And then you have B2 and B2, that's B4. And if you rearrange it, if you want exactly the same thing as they have, this is what? 8 before A5, because multiplication is commutative, right? A times B is the same as B times A, right? So that's the reason you have that answer. So that's it. That's your review. I hope this helps them, and good luck on your test tomorrow. Have a nice day.